Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So we actually got some pretty interesting stuff. We got a short story that launched today called What You Left Behind, which is based around Baptiste. However, there's a lot in it that insinuates and suggests the next hero, which could be a Talon tank by the name of Mauga. Whilst Blizzard haven't been amazing with their lore, they've become a lot more deliberate. They do things for a reason, and I definitely think that this is one. Not only going into a lot of detail and showing us an image of what this character may look like, but also highlighting some of the abilities. So that's mostly what we're going to be focusing on in today's video, going over the background of this character, who he is, his relationship with Baptiste, and also some other bits and pieces, including a new skin for Baptiste, which will highlight a new event that may be happening similar to how Anna got the Bastet stuff. The story follows Baptiste mostly and his sort of relationship with Talon. It highlights the present day where he's currently sort of working in a shelter, moving from places to try and keep away from Talon, who a few years before he left their services as he didn't like what they were doing. He goes into one of his favorite bars, I believe, and he sees two people from Talon. Nguyen, who has been referred to before, he is a Talon analyst, and our potential new hero, Mauga, and here's a picture of him putting his arm around Baptiste. The three work together on a Talon mission and uncover Sinclair, who has a map to the whereabouts of all of the Overwatch agents, which was shown in Recall way back when. Baptiste takes the map, takes Sinclair and runs away and has a standoff against Mauga, who he has known from day one of his days at Talon. They both started together, they both had a friendship. Think of it as Axel and Roxas from Kingdom Hearts 2. It's that kind of vibe that I'm getting from these things. So it does highlight a lot of their friendship, Baptiste and Talon, going into a bit of his background, why he left, whether he's a good or bad person. So there's a lot of information there, and as I said, Blizzard are very deliberate with how they do this stuff. Now let's go over the abilities, as again, they've gone into some pretty decent detail on what Mauga is capable of. We're going to take the quotes first, and then break down what they may mean. The first is, he hefted his pair of machine guns, each as tall as a full-grown man, like they weighed nothing. The coolant tanks on his back gleamed in the scant light. Not to mention the size of Mauga, and it's also referred a lot to his armor and stuff. It's looking likely, just based off his size and stature, that he would be a tank hero. He could be a support or a DPS, but there are some other things that highlight how he's going to be a tank, a main tank nonetheless, and that's about his shield. Mauga stepped in front of Nguyen, activating an energy shield, working in a similar vein to Reinhardt, and it does sound like as you go through the comic that it works in a very dynamic way, that the shield can go off, it can go on, you can activate it. It's not as if you're placing it down, so he might be another tank that's like Reinhardt that can move a shield forwards and backwards. Not to mention the comic says the line hefting one of his giant guns and activating his shields. So whilst he does dual wield these massive machine guns, it's looking likely that you'll be able to use an energy shield whilst also using one of the machine guns at the same time. Whether there's like free modes, whether you can go all out offensive with dual wielding machine guns, whether you can have a shield and a machine gun or just a shield, that'll be quite interesting for a dynamic of a main tank, whether you go aggressive, super defensive, or somewhere in the middle. It could affect how quickly you can move. For example, if you have a shield up, you might be able to move a lot faster, whereas if you're running with your two machine guns, you might move a lot slower, like Orisa sort of levels of slow. Another mention of the weapons was Mauga sliding his giant guns from their back holsters, which is where he seems to keep them. The fact that they also mentioned a coolant tank in one of the previous quotes suggests to me that these weapons are on like a overheating kind of mechanic perhaps. At least I thought that the longer you fire, you have basically unlimited ammo. The comic really highlights how many bullets are in Mauga's weapon clips by saying how much he's just destroying stuff around him. So he's going to have quite a lot of damage at his disposal, but there is also a quote saying that there was a loud metal click as Mauga reloaded, feeding a new belt into his guns. So I don't think there's going to be an overheat mechanic. It would have been cool to see that within Overwatch, but in short, we get details on two major things. That he has the ability to dual wield massive machine guns. He also has an energy shield, which suggests that he's a main tank, but he can also use his shield whilst also carrying one of his giant guns, which are required to reload. He also has a coolant tank on his back. That might be something else around another ability. We're not quite sure just yet. Another thing that's described is the fact that the shield does bounce away bullets. Whether this is just a passive that Mauga could have with just his shield, every time somebody shoots it, it reflects bullets back, or whether that's an E ability or a shift ability that you can activate actively, I'd be able to use that in certain situations. That'd be really cool, and of course we would love to test whether certain abilities bounce off him or not. There is another big telltale sign as to why I think Mauga is Hero 31. If you look at the comic and who's credited for the illustrations, Arnold Zhang is down. Now, I met Arnold Zhang at BlizzCon a couple of years ago when talking about Moira, as he was one of the main designers behind him. They even credit Baptiste's original concept designer Ben Zhang, as well as highlighting the different models and skins. Arnold Zhang designs heroes like Moira, so the fact that he's working on a lowly graphic novel thing really does suggest to me that Mauga is just more than a character that they're throwing in, especially when you compare the detail between Mauga and Nguyen in this clip. Just look at the life that he brings in and the way that he's been described. 100% I think that this is going to be the new hero, just based off all of the stuff that we've spoken about. But just to sort of recap on everything that we've gone over, he's a member of Talon, he's very cheeky, sort of quite a relaxed character, is good friends with Baptiste, and only wants the best for him. Nice sort of bromance going on there. He has 2 massive machine guns, he has a shield that he could put up whilst also using one of his machine guns, and it also seems that he will have the ability to deflect bullets either with an ability or as a passive. No idea on his ultimate or anything like that. We only got a few details on him as a character. Another thing that Miska actually spotted that he highlighted, that if you look in the background of the sort of short story, you can see the parrot pictures, which is what was described to be on Mauga's shirts, including this image too. So I really do feel that whilst this short story is about Baptiste, it's more to really establish Mauga as a character and his relationship and connection to the story as a whole, which I think is incredibly important. And again, another telltale sign to why this character may be Hero 31. This is looking likely, especially with Hero 31 coming out fairly soon, like a couple of weeks from now at least. So this might be the first tease. I also think that we're going to be seeing an event much like the Bastet one that we had with Anna. A story came out around her as well, the one where they announced that Soldier 76 was gay, and they also showed off this new skin. So no doubt there's going to be an in-game event where you do a certain amount of arcade missions perhaps, or win 10 games where you'll be able to earn stuff to earn this skin for Baptiste. I'm really excited to see what it means, but I do definitely think we are looking at Overwatch's next hero, a Talon tank that goes by the name of Mauga. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you next time.